Hi, my name is Alison and you are with Healing Dove Tarot. I'm here to do a love reading for the sign of Scorpio during mid-April to mid-May 2018. This is for Scorpio Sun, Moon and Rising signs. So let's get started. Thank you, Universe. Thank you, Spirit. Please show me what are the messages for Scorpio during the month of mid-April to mid-May 2018. What does Scorpio need to see? Thank you, Spirit. What are the messages? Okay. All right, Scorpio. So here is your reading. Very interesting reading indeed. At the bottom of the deck, we have the moon. So the moon talks about things that are hidden, things that cannot be seen in the daylight. The moon's an interesting energy, and we are coming up to a new moon next week. We've just come out of a really powerful full blue moon. But the moon talks about, it can talk about deception or illusions or things not being clear. Sometimes in the lesser energies around that, and I'm not seeing any kind of malicious negative energies around that. It could just mean that you don't have the clarity yet. You're not seeing things clearly. The moon, when used correctly, it can actually guide your intuition, give you the time that you need to take a break, to take a breather, to kind of step back and analyze what's going on. And I say that because it's coupled with the Two of Swords and the Four of Swords in your reading. But most importantly, the Two of Swords, you can see the moon's depicted up here in this deck. So it's actually showing you coming out of that full moon, coming into the next quarter, waxing out, and telling you that, or telling me, the message is that you have a decision to make, and in your thought process, you're struggling to make that decision. And the Four of Swords speaks about, don't rush, take your time. Whatever it is that you need to decide, whatever the conclusion is that you need to come to, you don't have all the facts yet. It's not clear, so it's not the time to make that decision. Now, following the Two of Swords and the Four of Swords about that decision, and that's for both singles and couples, and you apply this how you will. It is a general reading, but it's showing me that there is a beautiful love here. So it's just like a soulmate love, but it feels like you're not communicating at the moment. It's like one or both of you have cut off communication. And again, this could be for singles, someone who's, like just recently met someone, and if you feel like you've been deceived or something's not clear, so you've cut off communication, even though you feel very strongly towards this person, you feel a very strong love. Or it could be in a relationship sense that you're not talking, you're at a stalemate, you've had some sort of argument, and you're not sure whether you want to go forward or not in this relationship. And it feels to me like it's like a cycle that keeps on reappearing. What's interesting though, and the other cards that wanted to come out, is that even though whether you're not communicating or you've taken a break whilst you're trying to make this decision could be between two people, or it could be between two different paths you take within the relationship. Do I move in with you? Do I move out by myself? Do we get a new house together? It is coupled with the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords talks about spying. So even though someone's cut off communication, one or more of you is spying on each other on social media. You're like, yep, I still love you. I'm not very happy with you right now, but I'm just going to keep an eye on what you're doing. Following this energy is the Five of Cups reversed. Now, the Five of Cups normally talks about heartbreak and loss, and this feeling of losing, I guess. It's like defeatist feeling, like, oh, I once had this great love and now I don't have this great love anymore. And it's reversed. When it's reversed, it talks about coming out of that energy. So it may be that at the beginning of the month, things aren't clear and you're fearing the worst. You know, something in your gut is saying to you, oh, this just doesn't feel right. Or are they cheating? Is there someone else? Are they thinking about someone else? Are they trying to choose between me and another person? That could be something else that's coming up quite clearly here. Or am I trying to choose between two people? You know, you've cut off this communication because you're not sure. But it is love. It's a soulmate connection love, and we don't always stay with our soulmates. We don't always stay with our karmic partners. But what I do see here coming through very strongly is a transformation. So you're coming out of this energy with this karmic partner, this soulmate. And in terms of signs, I am seeing very strongly Scorpio, you coming up. Death represents Scorpio, but I'm also seeing Pisces. They're the two that stand out to me. There's a lot of air here, but I don't think that that's a sign. Maybe there's a Libra, but I'm very much seeing, yeah, actually, I see a Libra. But I'm very much seeing, I'm being shown Pisces and water energy. So it's like you're coming out of this feeling of lack or loss, and towards the very end of the month, realizing that this person is your soulmate. And then you are ready for a transformation, a rebirth. And you know, Scorpio, to be showing up as yourself in your reading, it's very powerful. It means that you have taken the time, as I mentioned at the beginning. You haven't rushed into making this decision. You've really taken the time for yourself to think about what you want. You've rested. You've gotten the clarity that you needed. The Ace of Swords is typically the one sword showing that you have mental clarity, and the Four of Swords talks about taking rest to rejuvenate and recuperate. But in this picture, it just shows the single sword. So for me, it's like by taking time to rest, stepping back from the situation, you're going to get the clarity that you need about how you want to transform this connection and move forward. And that's for singles and for couples. Again, very much seeing a very strong connection with a Pisces, a water sign, a Libra, or a fellow Scorpio like yourself. Just seeing if there's any other messages coming through. If you've stopped communication, you will hear from this person again. They will communicate with you again. It won't be in the form that you'd be expecting either. But they will reach out to you again on social media. But it'll be like if you mainly talk on Facebook, then they'll reach out on Snapchat. Or if you mainly communicate via Snapchat, then you'll get a text message. Or it'll be something like that where you're like, why are you texting me? When, you know, in our relationship, we always used to communicate via Facebook Messenger. It'll be something like that. And for those that are in more deeper committed relationships, you really need to take that time to think about what you want. And if there is another person that's in the picture, if you're feeling deceptive, if you're considering about going through cheating, sorry, I do see it, cheating or you know, even meeting someone for coffee, any way that you feel is like a cheating on your partner, really do take your time before you make that action. Think about the consequence of what it could have on this soul connection, because, you know, if you do, judgment is coming for you. You will absolutely get everything that you wanted, but the judgment will come. And then it shows me, I don't normally go this far down into the deck, but an Eight of Cups and a potential energy there of walking away, either you or your partner. So for some of you out there, and I mean, that is a pretty bleak message, and I'm just the messenger, but I read the messages as I see them, that are considering about entering into some sort of third party relationship, or even, like I said, just having a coffee or texting someone. You know, take your time to think about, is that what you really want? Is that what's really going to bring you happiness? And then by the end of the month, I very much see you coming out of that uncertainty or that feeling of lack of loss in this relationship, but giving yourself space and time and really understanding why you feel that way. You allow the energy to shift and change, and there's a transformation in your relationship or in your partnerships. Okay, Scorpio, so I am going to pull for you an additional guidance card from the Psychic Tarot for the Heart from John Holland. Let's see what additional messages Spirit has for you. Thank you, Spirit. Please show me what are the additional messages for Scorpio. in love during mid-April to mid-May 2018. Thank you, Spirit. What else do they need to know? Please show me. It's really heavy energy, actually, as I'm shuffling this one. Can you see that? Believe and succeed. This is the energy of the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords talks about moving on from this mental anguish or this mental hesitation, about moving on to calmer waters. So it aligns perfectly to what I was saying about if you give yourself time and actually really consider where you're going and what you're doing and what this relationship means to you, then you'll have a transformation. You'll have a transformation of heart, a transformation of self, and you'll be able to see clearly, where at the moment you're blocked. You know, there's all this murky energy, this murky water, and you're not clear on the path forward. Now, I am going to read for you from the book because I find that the descriptions are incredibly on point. And the Six of Swords in this book is written as confidence, achievement, inspiration, and recognition. And it talks about having faith in amazing results. And it's important at this time to believe in yourself and the aspirations regarding love. Think and act as if all you desire is inevitable. Your confidence will send a signal to the universe that you're ready to have that perfect relationship. The energies of success are around you, and use this to achieve your dreams. The lighthouse, so that's the picture in this card, depicts a beacon to passing ships to help them navigate surrounding waters. By acting confidently and being victorious, you can inspire loved ones to reach out for what they desire, including yourself. Recognize your power to affect people in positive ways and congratulate yourself for this ability. So really taking the time there for yourself, Scorpio. Time to think about what you want. It will resurrect your relationship and give you the clarity that you need so that you can move forward in a transformative way. I hope you found this reading helpful. If you did, please like, share and subscribe, and I will be back at the new moon to do your astrological readings. Thank you.